Doctor, how often does a baby needs to be fed?
So that's a very common question that we come across. So baby will determine how long she needs to be fed. What principle we follow is feeding on demand. So whenever the baby is hungry, we have to feed the baby. It usually newborn baby will feed every 2 hours. If the baby is very small, maybe we have to give a more frequent feed. The baby is large baby, then maybe he might take a feed every 3 to 4 hours also. So that is okay. As long as the baby is content after the feed, that is fine.
For how long should a mother breastfeed the baby?
Again, the length of the feeding will depend on the sucking power of the baby. Some babies are fast suckers and they finish the feed within 15 to 20 minutes, but some take almost 30 to 40 minutes as well. Remember, if the position and the attachment is good, the baby will be able to suckle in a better manner. So we have to be careful about the position of the baby and how the baby is attached to the breast.
Is the formula milk safe for the baby?
Well, regarding formula milk, I'll have to clarify first of all that breast milk is the best milk for the baby. Nobody can ever match what the breast milk has. It's a nature's fluid. It's actually a living fluid. But in cases where the mother is just not able to produce the milk enough, in that case, we may have to give a formula milk. Formula milk are safe if they are prepared in a proper manner and hygienic conditions and given properly, preferably via vati spoon. And we avoid bottle feeding because it can cause infections and can lead to other complications also like nipple confusion, where the baby is getting used to more of bottle feeding rather than drinking directly from the breast.
Can the baby have water?
A newborn having water is actually not necessary. Even during the summer seasons, the newborn does not require water because the breast milk itself contains almost 80% of water. So it is enough to fulfill all the fluid requirements of the baby.
How do we know that the baby is getting enough feeds?
Well, that's again a very common question that we come across. Is my milk enough? Well, there are objective manners in which we can find out whether the milk is enough or not. First of all, if the weight gain of the child is good, that is in the first few months it is 30 grams per day, then it means that the baby is getting enough of breast milk. Secondly, if the baby is sleeping well after the feeding, that means again the baby is content and he should pass at least 7 to 8 times, sometimes 10 times urine out. If all these parameters are met, then we know that the baby is getting enough feed.
Can we use a pacifier for the baby?
Pacifier, I personally do not recommend for a child because again it can cause a nipple confusion. They do not need a pacifier always. Just gives them some time and they will settle down on their own. If the child is slightly bigger and they are starting to get teeth, again the teeth might be slightly protruded because of the pacifier and that's why it should be better avoided.
Doctor, I have heard about the tummy time. Can you tell me what does it mean and how often should we do it?
Tummy time. Tummy time is known as the time when the baby is kept on his tummy. Normally we keep the baby on her back, but when we keep on the tummy, it is called as tummy time. Now tummy time is helpful in few ways. What happens is when the pressure is there on the tummy, some amount of gaseous formation is lesser and they will not be getting too much of colic. But it has to be remembered that tummy time has to be given properly. And what do you mean by properly? The bed should not be very soft, because if the bed is very soft, what will happen? The baby will put his face down and they get suffocated because of that. So bed should be slightly on the harder side. The best place to give a tummy time is the mother's body. The mother can lie down and she can give her tummy time directly on her body herself. In fact, we also advise that skin to skin contact can be given during this time. That will help in making the child feel very comfortable, because the baby is very close to the mother's heartbeat, which she has been through the last 9 months in the mother's womb.
Should we bathe the baby every day?
Regarding the bathing of a child, it depends on what is the age of the child. So when the baby is just born, initially till the umbilical cord is not fallen, we prefer not to bathe the baby. So we prefer to give a sponge bath till then. Once the umbilical cord has fallen and dried up, then we can bathe the baby. And if it's a winter season, you can bathe every third day or second day. In the summer season, you might bathe every day. But again, it depends. Since the babies do not move a lot, they do not get so dirty as well. So you can bathe every alternate day, that is fine. And one day you can bathe, the other day you can just give a sponge bath.
How should one take care of the umbilical cord stump?
So umbilical cord is the connection between the mother and the child. But as soon as the baby is born, we cut the umbilical cord and so the connection gets over. So now this umbilical cord naturally will shrivel on its own. It will dry up, shrivel and fall on its own. Usually the process takes around 7 to 14 days. Till that time, you need not do anything about it. Just see to it that the umbilical cord is kept dry. If the cord is getting swollen up, or there is foul smell coming through it, or there is a purulent discharge, then it's a matter of concern and you may show your pediatrician. Otherwise, if it is some amount of blood, minor blood, especially at the time when the umbilical cord falls off, there's nothing to worry about.
Is the sunlight safe for the baby?
Sunlight is safe for the child, but we should see to it that the sunlight is not too direct, and the afternoon sun might be slightly troubling for the child. So a morning sun can be given to the child. It is a good source of vitamin D, even though vitamin D is best metabolized when the child receives the afternoon sun, but that becomes a bit too hot for the child, especially in the summer season. It might be becoming too hot. In that case, we would avoid that, but early morning sunlight is fine for the child.
Should we use wheat flour to remove baby's body hairs?
Using wheat flour to remove body's hair is a strict no. We never apply any such kind of things. I've heard of people applying wheat flour, chana dal, dahi. All these things are strictly to be avoided. In fact, they can cause more harm than good. We have seen that cases of allergy increase if the child is exposed to these substances early in life.